Ernest Borgnine was born Hermes Ephron Borgnino on January 24, 1917, in Hamden, Connecticut, to Italian immigrant parents who embodied hard work and modest living. His father worked as a barber, his mother managed the home, and together they instilled values that would define Ernest's entire life: discipline, humility, and resilience. Fame was never assumed or expected. As a young man, Borgnine took labor-intensive jobs, working furnaces, docks, and bars, learning firsthand the dignity of ordinary people. These experiences grounded him in reality and later gave his performances uncommon authenticity. Before Hollywood ever noticed him, Borgnine had already lived a full, demanding life shaped by responsibility rather than privilege. Those early years formed the emotional backbone of his career, ensuring that no matter how large his roles became, he never lost touch with the humanity beneath them. Service, discipline, and the long road to acting World War II became another defining chapter when Borgnine enlisted in the United States Navy. Military service reinforced structure, accountability, and teamwork, qualities that followed him long after his discharge. After the war, acting was not an obvious leap, but a deliberate choice. Borgnine studied at the American Theater Wing in New York, immersing himself in stage work and regional productions. Success came slowly. He auditioned endlessly, accepted small roles, and endured years of uncertainty. Yet he never viewed struggle as injustice. He saw it as preparation. Directors came to trust his reliability, and fellow actors respected his work ethic. Even when cast as tough characters, Borgnine brought warmth and vulnerability, revealing layers beneath hardened exteriors. These years of patience and persistence shaped an actor who never relied on glamour, only truth, stardom through humanity, not perfection. Borgnine's breakthrough came in 1955 with Marty, a film that changed the landscape of leading men. Playing a lonely, kind butcher longing for connection, Borgnine defied Hollywood norms and earned an Academy Award for Best Actor. The role resonated because it reflected real emotional life, not fantasy. Success followed, but Borgnine never became distant from his roots. He moved effortlessly between film and television, appearing in From Here to Eternity, The Dirty Dozen, The Wild Bunch, and The Poseidon Adventure. On television, McHale's Navy revealed his comedic instincts and charm. His career spanned decades because audiences trusted him. He never played heroes without flaws or villains without humanity. That balance made him enduring, respected, and deeply relatable across generations. A personal life as complicated as any role. Away from the screen, Borgnine's personal life reflected the same complexity found in his performances. He married 5 times, each relationship marking a different stage of his evolving life. His early marriages coincided with professional uncertainty and emotional growth, while later ones reflected greater self-awareness. Borgnine never pretended to be perfect. He acknowledged that balancing ambition, family, and identity was difficult, especially in an industry that magnifies private struggles. Fatherhood mattered deeply to him, and he maintained strong bonds with his children despite marital endings. Over time, he learned that love alone is not always enough. Compatibility, patience, and timing matter just as much. These lessons, learned gradually, shaped his understanding of partnership and ultimately guided him toward lasting companionship later in life. The brief marriage that became a legend. In 1964, Borgnine married Broadway icon Ethel Merman, a union that lasted just 6 weeks but entered Hollywood lore. At the time, both were established stars with commanding personalities and demanding careers. Decades later, Borgnine reflected not with bitterness, but clarity. He acknowledged that they admired each other's talent deeply, yet admiration does not automatically translate into harmony. Their temperaments, routines, and expectations simply did not align. Borgnine described the relationship as intense rather than malicious, shaped by two strong individuals unused to compromise. The marriage ended quickly, not because either person was inherently wrong, but because neither could comfortably adapt to the other's rhythm. Time allowed him to see the situation without blame, understanding it as a lesson rather than a failure. Reflection without resentment. At an advanced age, Borgnine spoke carefully about that chapter, emphasizing perspective over accusation. He acknowledged Merman's extraordinary presence, drive, and talent, while recognizing that living alongside such force requires balance both partners must willingly create. He never framed the marriage as scandalous or humiliating, but as incompatible. Borgnine explained that emotional exhaustion can occur even when respect exists, especially when personalities dominate rather than complement. He admitted feeling overwhelmed at times, yet also recognized his own limitations. These reflections were not confessions meant to shock, but insights meant to clarify. Borgnine understood that relationships fail not from villainy, but from mismatch. His willingness to revisit the past with honesty demonstrated emotional maturity earned through decades of life experience. Learning what partnership truly means. The lessons Borgnine carried forward reshaped his understanding of love. Marriage, he later said, requires flexibility, listening, and shared emotional space. Without those elements, even affection can feel lonely. This realization guided his later relationships, particularly his final marriage to Tova Tresnes, which lasted nearly 4 decades. With Tova, Borgnine found companionship grounded in mutual respect and emotional steadiness. Their relationship reflected growth rather than intensity, stability rather than performance. Looking back, Borgnine recognized that earlier marriages occurred before he fully understood himself. Time taught him patience, communication, and humility. These qualities allowed him to build something lasting later in life. His story reminds us that wisdom often arrives after mistakes, and that love can deepen when lessons are truly absorbed. A life completed with grace. Ernest Borgnine remained active, curious, and engaged well into his 90s. Even as health challenges emerged, he approached aging with pragmatism rather than fear. Those close to him described his warmth, humor, and generosity as unchanged. He continued to reflect on his past, not to relive it, but to understand it. When he spoke about old relationships, it was with nuance rather than drama. His legacy became one of honesty without cruelty, strength without arrogance. Borgnine accepted responsibility for his choices, while granting others the same grace. In doing so, he demonstrated that reflection need not reopen wounds. It can instead offer closure. His life became a testament to growth, resilience, and the power of self-awareness earned over time. The final chapter of a long journey. Ernest Borgnine passed away on July 8, 2012, at the age of 95, leaving behind a career and life marked by authenticity. He was cremated and honored with a military funeral, recognizing both his service and his artistic contributions. His death marked the end of an era, but not the end of his influence. Borgnine's reflections, including those about his brief marriage to Ethel Merman, reveal a man unafraid of truth, yet committed to fairness. He did not seek to rewrite history, only to understand it. His story reminds us that even legends are shaped by trial, learning, and growth. In the end, Borgnine's greatest role may have been simply being human, fully and honestly, until the very last chapter.